Are you guys ready to go? Okay. Hi, everybody. Hopping tonight. This meeting is being held in accordance with the New Jersey Open Public Meetings Act. Annual notice of this meeting was published in the Union County Local Source and the Newark Star Ledger. Said notice was posted in the municipal building, and a copy is on file with the office of the borough clerk. Fire exits are located in the directions I'm indicating. If you're alerted for a fire, please move in a calm, orderly manner to the nearest smoke-free exit. Proper notice having been given, the borough clerk is directed to include the statement in the minutes of the meeting. Andrew, please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Here.
Councilman Johnson.
Present.
Councilman Signorello.
Here.
Councilman Urbina.
Here.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Here.
Councilman Patel.
Here.
Mayor Signorello.
Here.
All present, Mayor.
You got it.
Please rise. Eternal God, grant us thy help in all our duties and perplexities. We ask for thy guidance. Give us thy protection in our dangers and sorrows. Grant us thy peace. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, there are no communications for review this evening, but we do have a bunch of proclamations and presentations. Coach Rainier, you want to come up, and Petrosky, you want to, Council President?
Hi, how are you?
Sure. Thanks. It's old. I like that.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll tee it up. Yeah. So tonight, we're going to recognize, first off, the USA New Jersey State Wrestling Championship contenders, the co-ed 3rd through 5th grade recreation basketball champions, and the boys middle school rec basketball champions. Councilman Petrosky, I don't know if you want to say anything? Yeah.
I've been doing this for a while, and I'm always there for athletics. I know my councilman at large over here is good for the academics and the arts, but I always want do things for the athletes. So I got with Coach Ranieri. We talked about having the wrestlers in there and also the basketball that won the championship, which I want to congratulate all the wrestlers that placed in the state, and also the two basketball teams that won the championship. We, the mayor and council, are very proud of you, and keep up the good work. Thank you.
The Roselle Park Recreation Department has long enjoyed a level of support that is unlike other recreation departments. We'd like to thank Mayor Signorello, Town Council, our Recreation Liaison, Councilman Petrosky, Andrew Casais, Ken Blum, the Recreation Committee, the ASYC staff, our volunteer coaches, and our members. I'm honored and privileged to join the recognition of the Winter Recreational Sports Awards. Wrestling. The wrestling season is complete. The off-season has begun. We're happy to report our teams represented Roselle Park well in all three leagues. We had a number of tournament place winners and champions. I'd like to recognize the following outstanding accomplishments. But first, please allow me to offer a special thank you to our head wrestling coach at Roselle Park High School, Ryan Rooney, and Jason Kearns. In addition, our Roselle Park Recreation Coordinator, Craig Frost, for all they do for the growth and development of park wrestling. The 2024 USA New Jersey Kids Scholastic State Wrestling Qualifiers. Junior 70-pound qualifier, Paul Toms. Come on up, Paul. Next, we'd like to introduce our 2024 USA New Jersey Kids Wrestling State Place winners. Tot, 53 pounds. 8th place, Cole Apello. Novice, 110 pounds. 3rd place, Hunter Apello. Intermediate, 91 pounds. 6th place, Jake Apello. Intermediate, 98 pounds, 7th place, Anthony Molinaro. Next, we'd like to introduce our 2024 USA New Jersey Kid Scholastic State Wrestling Champion, Girls Intermediate, 112 pounds, Lucia Ranieri. Lastly, we would like to offer a heartfelt thank you to our volunteer Roselle Park recreational coaches. Russell Benner, Matt Kernicki, Pete Hilburn, Chris Corral, Bob Appello, Troy McDermott, Keith Appello, John Gora, and Craig Montgomery. Thank you.
This is good, that's why I'm behind this.
Next is basketball. Our basketball numbers were very good. We had 11 teams practicing and competing in schools through the borough and county. We had over 56 games scheduling, not including the playoffs and championship game that was held in the high school main gym. Please allow me to offer a heartfelt thank you to our head basketball coach at Roselle Park High School, Matt Talbot, and Stacy Hartzler. In addition, the recreational basketball and official coordinator, Clark Crawford and Tina Schwartz, for all they do for the growth and development of Roselle Park basketball. Next, let me introduce our 2024 Roselle Park Recreation 3rd through 5th grade basketball champions. Team Adams, coached by Dan Adams and Steve Lyle.
I'm just gonna say first names, 'cause I'm not good with last names. All right? And I have Chloe. Number 22, Chloe. And I have number 23, Alex. And I have number 28, Uzman. Can I have number 47, Gianna? Here. Can I get number 29, Brian? I get number 32, Javi. And I get number 31, Roxy. And I get number 36, Madison. Can I get number 35, Anthony? And can I get number 30, Camilla?
Next, let's introduce our 2024 Roselle Park Recreation Boys Middle School Basketball League champions. Team Rotman, coached by Mike Rotman and Coleman Cooper.
All right, number 5, Javen Cruz. Number 16, Braden Rotman. Number 27, Adrian Caraballo. Number 4, Jackson Modero. Number 26, Hunter Morales. Number 20, Logan Albano. Number 12, Carter Cooper. And number 35, Zachary Ramirez.
Is that everybody?
Just bring this over here. Turn it off.
Yeah. You could give it to me. You want a break or you want?
No, it looks like they're kind of going pretty quick.
Thank you. I need this. Okey-dokey.
Okay. On to the boring part. Okay. May I have a motion to approve minutes pending any corrections?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion that bills and payrolls be not read and passed for payment?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to open the public portion on agenda items only?
So move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wishing to come up and speak may do so now.
Do I need to give my name and all that again?
Yeah, name and address,
Betty
please.
Woodruff, 134 Bender. Got the agenda, and I noticed there was something there that caught my eye. There's $140,000 appropriated for a Rick Barry statue.
Yes.
Why?
He's an NBA Hall of Famer who grew up in Roselle Park.
Yeah.
We did a study when I first got elected 6 years ago about kind of what the town wanted and wanted to see more of in the downtown. And it was placemaking things, right? So things that we can gather around, things that we can be proud of. It's not often that you have a Hall of Famer. The guys in the top 40 NBA players of all time. I think it's something that we can be proud of, something that we could highlight in the downtown, and something that, is kind of overdue. I mean, I look at places like, Larry Bird's hometown in Indiana has something similar. Same thing with, Michael Jordan, You know, a lot of these places, when they have really important athletes, they recognize it.
I don't believe he belongs in the Veterans Park. It's inappropriate.
Sorry?
I don't believe he belongs in the Veterans Park.
Nobody's putting him in a veterans area.
Where is he going to be placed? Where is the statue going to be placed?
The place would be considered in Michael J. Moore Park is where it's thinking about right now, where it's considered right now.
I thought I had read the library park.
No, no.
Totally inappropriate.
Yeah, no. That's Veterans Memorial Library. That wouldn't be the right place for it.
Okay.
Thank you. Anybody else? I'm seeing no one. May I have a motion to okie dokie?
How you doing? George Ramirez, East Clay Avenue.
Yeah.
The sewer taxes,
Yes.
they're doubling.
Yes.
Why is that?
So I'm going to defer to the attorney to figure out how much I can say here, but in broad strokes, we are going to start incurring a fee for an adjacent town that we haven't had to pay in the past. Am I treading on all right ground so far?
That's all public knowledge, yes.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, can I say the town? Can I say the city?
Yeah, it's
Yeah. So half of our town, and I think you live in this area, runs off into the Elizabeth stormwater system.
Okay.
We have a separate stormwater and wastewater system. The city of Elizabeth has a combined stormwater system, which means they get DEP fines anytime that there's an allotment for how much combined wastewater that they can have. And because Roselle Park runs off into that, they keep getting overage charges, right? After a lot of legal wrangling, we've had to come to the table to pay them a fine or a fee going forward, and that's why the sewer tax is doubling. We've run off into the system for 100 years. They've finally called our tab on it, and such is life. This issue's kind of been going on, I think, predates me since Carl, right? We've been kind of negotiating this?
Since 2012.
Since 2012.
So who's in charge of the sewers? Like,
We own our sewers.
no, but the committee, who's in charge, what committee member is in charge of like the sewer and all of that? Council member.
The budget's considered by the entire mayor and council. Yeah.
So it's going to be double of what we're paying now? Is there like a grant money that we can apply for, or?
We are. We have to get off their system, but that still doesn't include the fees that we have to pay in the meantime.
Now, is there talks of us selling the sewer system?
Potentially, but this is stormwater. The only thing that we could sell is wastewater, right? And that would have to go to a public referendum. So we couldn't make a vote on that. The people directly would have to vote on that.
So are there talks right now of selling the sewer system or no?
I don't think this year. I think it's too short notice for this year, potentially next year.
So there's no talks at all?
We've been talking about it for the last 4 years. I mean, people have interest in our stormwater system.
Okay.
Or sanitary system, thank you.
All righty. All right, thank you.
Yep. Anybody else? Going once, going twice, 3 times? All right, may I have a motion to close the public portion on a subject matter, or on agenda items?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, may I have a motion to accept the reports of departments as submitted?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Andrew, please read ordinance number 2774 by title.
Yes, Mayor, ordinance 2774 is an ordinance for second reading and public hearing, an ordinance amending Chapter 27, Section 6, Subsection 3 of the Code of the Borough of Roselle Park entitled Imposition of Charges.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 2774?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody want to come up and speak on this ordinance? Okay, seeing no one, may I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 2774?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2774?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Andrew, please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yes.
Councilman Signorello?
Yes.
Councilman Urbina?
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons?
Yes.
Councilman Patel?
No.
5 votes in the affirmative, 1 in the negative. The ordinance is adopted.
Okay, Andrew, please read ordinance number 2775 by title.
Yes, Mayor, ordinance 2775 is an ordinance to exceed the municipal, ordinance for second reading and public hearing, an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and establish a cap bank for calendar year 2024 pursuant to NJSA 40A:4-45.14.
May I have a motion to open the public hearing on ordinance number 2775?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody want to come and speak on this ordinance? Seeing no one, may I have a motion to close the public hearing on ordinance number 2775?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt ordinance number 2775?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Andrew, please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Robina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, the ordinance is adopted.
Okay. Please read ordinance number 2776 by title.
Yes, Mayor, ordinance 2776 is an ordinance for the introduction, a bond ordinance to authorize the making of various public improvements and the acquisition of new, additional, or replacement equipment and machinery, new information technology equipment, and new automotive vehicles, including original apparatus and equipment in, by, and for the Borough of Roselle Park in the County of Union, State of New Jersey, to appropriate the sum of $3,987,000 to pay the cost thereof, to appropriate various grants, and to make down payment, to authorize the issuance of bonds to finance such appropriation, and to provide for the issuance of bond anticipation notes in anticipation of the issuance of such bonds.
May I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2776 for introduction and fix the date for second reading and public hearing as May 2nd, 2024?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I'd like to just start off the conversation by saying I'm really happy with some of the things that are in this capital budget this year. This is the capital budget ordinance, right? Yep. Obviously, we talked a little bit about the Rick Barry statue. I think that's going to be cool and something that the town can rally behind. We obviously have a downtown that is on the come up, and having something that is a placemaking thing is going to be really important as part of that. Also, we're finishing up some roads that we haven't gotten done yet. I think over the past couple of years, we did the math, we hit like 70% of the roads in Roselle Park, ballpark. It's our goal to hit 100%. After this year, there's only going to be a few outliers, and I promise you, if your road is in bad shape, I see you, Walnut. It is on the horizon. If it hasn't gotten paved yet, it's because we are waiting on utility work. And the gas company is going to get on that, and we'll pave it with some fresh asphalt after that. Just good stuff all around here. Any further discussion? Okay. May I have a motion to approve? Got it. Andrew, call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Robina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, Mayor. The ordinance is introduced.
Okay, please read ordinance number 2777 by title.
Yes, Mayor, ordinance 2777 is an ordinance for introduction, an ordinance amending Chapter 7 of the Code of the Borough of Roselle Park entitled Traffic with specific amendments to Section 11 entitled Stopping or Standing Prohibited During Certain Hours on Certain Streets, Section 12 entitled Parking Time Limited on Certain Streets, Section 14 entitled Parking Prohibited at All Times on Certain Streets, Section 37 entitled Loading Zones, and Section 42 entitled Fire Lanes.
Okie dokie. May I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2777 for introduction and fix the date for second reading and public hearing as May 2nd, 2024?
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Andrew, this is just a mouthful, but maybe you could just, I've spoken to council individually on this, maybe you could just highlight for the public and council
Sure.
a little bit of what we're doing here.
Yep. So there's a couple things that I think everybody really wants that's in this ordinance, which is 15 pages long and probably very tedious. I know it's very tedious to put together. This is an ordinance that addresses a lot of the things that when this governing body talks about the borough code being very incorrect or inaccurate, corrects a lot of those things, not all of them. Unfortunately, it does not correct street sweeping, though I tried that once and it didn't work. But there are certain things like loading zones in certain areas, addressing some short-term parking accommodations in the downtown area. There are some totally outdated areas of town that are classified as 1 hour parking in vast swaths of the downtown that either do or don't have the signage still up. I actually met with DPW today to get some of those taken down immediately because they just create a lot of confusion. Trying to think of some others. There are some portions of the borough code that are just misplaced because either previous staff members wrote the code or the police department tried their crack at it. This is kind of a holistic take on both what's out there and what is desired. I mean, in lieu of going section by section, I'm happy to field any questions.
I think it's a decent overview.
It also incorporates several asks that we've had with DOT for Westfield Avenue. Certain no parking areas by driveway lanes where it's very hard to see oncoming traffic. You'll see those implemented in here so that there's a better sight line leaving those areas. As a professional that works for the borough, this is long overdue. I hope the government, and it also helps, it will help restripe the downtown area so that we have a working parking situation that we haven't had in over a decade.
Okay. Any further discussion? Okey doke. Call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Ravina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, Mayor. The ordinance is introduced.
Okay, please read ordinance number 2778 by title.
Yes, Mayor. Ordinance 2778 is an ordinance for introduction, an ordinance amending Chapter 7, Section 17, subsection 17.2 of the Code of the Borough of Roselle Park entitled Preferential Parking Zones, Locations, and Restrictions.
May I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2778 for introduction and fix a date for second reading and public hearing as May 2nd, 2024.
So move.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Okey doke. Call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Ravina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, Mayor. The ordinance is introduced.
Okay, please read ordinance number 2779 by title.
Yes, Mayor. Ordinance 2779 is an ordinance for introduction, an ordinance amending Chapter 7, Section 20 of the Code of the Borough of Roselle Park entitled Stop Intersections.
May I have a motion to approve ordinance number 2779 for introduction and fix a date for second reading and public hearing as May 2nd, 2024? Is
So move.
Second.
there any discussion? Jay, this one's got your name. What's this one?
This one is adding a stop sign at Ashwood and Amsterdam Avenues.
Okay.
On the southbound side.
Got it. Okay, cool. Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Ravina.
Yes, thank
Councilwoman
you.
Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, Mayor. The ordinance is introduced.
Okay, please read all resolutions listed on the consent agenda by title.
Yes, Mayor. Resolution 9924 is memorializing the passing of crossing guard Todd Kraft. Sorry. 124 is promoting alternate crossing guard Kathleen Tillotson to the position of crossing guard. Resolution 10124 is awarding a professional services contract to the Neglia Group for professional engineering and construction management services for the Project 2024 Capital Road Program in an amount not to exceed $68,800. Resolution 10224 is awarding a contract to Portofino Builders LLC for the Project 2024 Capital Road Program in an amount not to exceed $497,662.25. Resolution 10324 is amending the 2024 capital budget. Resolution 10424 is authorizing the submission of Form 1B, a strategic plan for the Borough of Roselle Park Municipal Alliance Grant for fiscal year 2025. Resolution 10524 is accepting the resignation of Sandra Lynch from the Roselle Park Fire Department. Resolution 10624 is rescinding resolution number 6924 entitled authorizing the Borough Clerk to auction unclaimed vehicles. Resolution 10724 is authorizing the Borough Clerk to auction unclaimed vehicles. Resolution 10824 is approving a 5-year tax abatement for 145 East Webster Avenue, Block 802, Lot 37 of the municipal tax map. And Resolution 10924 is awarding a professional services contract to the Neglia Group for professional engineering services for the project NJDEP Tier A MS4 stormwater permit compliance measures in an amount not to exceed $20,000.
We pulling anything?
Can I do 103?
Yep. Okay. May I have a motion to approve the resolutions remaining on the consent agenda?
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
May I have a motion to adopt resolution 103-24?
So move.
Second?
Is there any discussion?
Yeah, I just want to highlight the painting and installation of banners on the railroads. We're spending $37,000 on it. Can you just highlight what's going on with that? Because I thought we already had a brand new banner right there.
So this was, I think that's part of the capital budget,
It is.
so it's not pertinent to this.
No, it is.
Okay, got it.
It's when you're introducing a bond ordinance, a multipurpose bond ordinance like this, you need an accompanying resolution that stipulates that the capital budget is amended to include the items in the ordinance.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So there's two pieces to that. One is replacing what we've already done. The other is net new work that we haven't. So the idea is to also paint. It's actually, I think, your ward. The rail line that goes over Westfield Avenue. By Romaroski, you know what I'm talking about? So that would be the new piece that hasn't been done already. The other piece would be to replace the chestnut banners. Candidly, I think it's something that we had the banners beforehand, before we replaced them for, 15 years. They looked worn out. They looked bad. I think it's something that we should replace every couple years. They get worn out. They're not fixed things, right? I think it's also, the message then was, rebuilding Roselle Park. I think we're probably on our way to doing that. If you look down Chestnut Street, for better or worse, there's a lot going on. So, I think the messaging is no longer pertinent and deserves a fresh upgrade. What do you think, Councilwoman Lyons?
I was just going to say, if I could say something.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's something, you could definitely look and see why. Number one.
She thinks my design's ugly, too.
No. There's a spelling mistake, and there are certain things, and it's a new season, and like you said, there's up and coming and certain things that are happening in Roselle Park, and we need to be able to update that. And it is a welcoming point of view once you either come into Roselle Park at that point or leaving, so it just needs to definitely be updated.
Yep, agreed.
For that. Just a comment on the Rick Barry statue. Personally, I don't think it's worth it to spend $150,000 on a statue. That's just my opinion. Lastly, the Boy Scout. We're spending $130. What's like the things that we're trying to improve there?
Yeah, so I'll let Councilman Urbina comment on this a little bit, but I'm pretty excited about it too. So let me try and tee it up, and then you can send it home. So we have active parks and passive parks in Roselle Park, right? It's a lot of parks. So we're redoing Acker Park this year. I think Aldean's next for the active parks. But we also need to take a look at the passive parks, Girl Scout Park being one of them and Boy Scout Park being the other that just come to mind. So again, theme of the day is called placemaking. So we will put it's not called a gazebo, it's a pavilion in the center. We're going to upgrade some of the landscaping there, do concrete work for around the area for safer walking. And then I think we're also just putting in electricity there because who knows when we'll need it at that point since we're ripping it all up. Councilman Urbina, I probably just stole your thunder, but is there?
No, that's fine. You nailed it.
Yeah, but
And the rain garden coming up at the corner
there.
Ashwood.
Yep.
And are we getting a grant for this specific?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if we can announce it, but we actually got $65,000 from the county to offset that. So I don't know exactly how the machinations of it are going to work. Candidly, I think this project's going to cost less than that, given that we have.
With the grant money, whatever it is it going to be addition to 130, or is it going to take out minus 130?
It'll be credited as part of. It won't be 130 plus 65 is the answer I think you're looking for, or the question you're asking.
So it's going to get like refund.
Yeah, well, we could also.
I think the net cost in terms of whatever debt is issued or the cost to the borough will be half of that. So the 160 or the 65, it'll cost the borough 65,000 if the total cost of the project is 130,000.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other thing, we've done this in the past with a lot of road work is, so let's just say, we have now with the grant, we have $195K for the project. Let's just say it costs $140K. What we've done in the past is flex that money to do something else, right? So a good example in your ward, which I think would make sense, is, maybe we could take that $40K and spruce up Girl Scout Park as an example. I think would be a, worthy endeavor.
One of the things I would like to see is at the end, if we do have money, let's just say left over, I'd like to see like a little bit more roads. If we could spend money, pick roads out. I know they're bad overall everywhere, but I know First Ward.
I
has-
would challenge that. Bad overall everywhere is a
Well,
pretty
I'm
strong
saying, like,
statement.
You got a couple roads bad in every single ward. So if you could, actually, like, one of them was Bridge Street that we have an issue with the stormwater.
Yeah.
So that's one I would like to see if we could pave and, get it.
Yeah, so two comments on that. I would say, and this is not my opinion as mayor, this is my opinion as a citizen. We have a lot of very clean roads and the ones that look bad are really bad because the utility companies have torn into them. And it also looks pretty rough juxtaposed the brand new roads. Bridge Street is a problem. I think part of the issue with Bridge Street is we got a quote for that. It was a pretty hefty price tag, right? Do you remember what it was?
Offhand, I don't.
It was like $300,000, right? And that's just paving without any of the potential stormwater issues. So it's certainly something that, I've spoken to people on Bridge Street. We had some more urgent ones this year. I committed to, so for example, Larch Street, it's a big problem. It's probably one of the only streets besides Ashwood that doesn't have curbs, and Larch is in really rough shape. So we definitely committed to doing that this year. I think if we can't flex to do Bridge this year, it's something that we should prioritize for next year. And as a matter of fact, we can probably even, might be a good case for a DOT application. I know we did that DOT application, but whatever. It should be on the near horizon. I agree. Anybody else? Okay. Please call the roll.
Councilman Petrosky.
Yes.
Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
Councilman Signorello.
Yes.
Councilman Rabina.
Yes.
Councilwoman Lyons.
Yes.
Councilman Patel.
Yes.
6 votes in the affirmative, Mayor. The resolution is adopted.
Okay. Councilman Patel, you can start off.
Not even ready.
You got your toes, man.
All right. Good evening. The Environmental Commission applications are now open for the Roselle Park Community Garden. There are about 15 spaces left open at the moment, and the cost for the season will be $50 to rent for a 4x8 bed. Please contact me or the Environmental Commission for additional details. Applications are due by Saturday, April 27th. If you have any questions or any concerns, feel free to reach out to me at kpatel@rosellepark.net. Thank you.
Okay. I went in a weird order now. I don't know who to do next. Councilman Johnson.
Oh, you really going in over All right. Good evening, Mayor, Council residents. First, I would like to start off by saying congratulations are in order to Andrew and to you and your family. And more importantly, it's nice to have you back. So
I love being back.
don't worry, we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff to do.
The frames are going up, though.
Oh, I was trying to be easy and let him ease back in. Speaking of congratulations, I would be remiss if I didn't extend a heartfelt congratulations to my colleague and friend, Councilman Petrowski. Let's give him another round of applause for 43 years of commitment, coaching to our youth within Roselle Park community. Just an outstanding job in nature to see such a long commitment. It's truly impressive. So I just wanted to give I really, 43 years.
You're not even 43 years old, right?
No, I'm 45. So I wasn't even born. But also this week, I attended a well put together public safety and listening session hosted by 5th Ward Councilman Jay Rabina and the Roselle Park Police Department Community Police Unit. Mayor, you know what I'm going to say next, right?
Got it. Go.
What can I say? It was just exceptional job, Jay. So thank you for inviting me and being part of it. Such a great job. So next, as a friendly reminder to residents that have been reaching out to me regarding borough noise ordinance, I just wanted to give you guys advise you guys that borough professionals are still working on improving said ordinance, and we should have a draft hopefully submitted by next council meeting or so. Don't hold me to that. Sometimes things come about, but we are working on that noise ordinance. Lastly, as the weather breaks in Roselle Park, the borough has already started its annual sidewalk program. Thank goodness. Last year, the west was done, and now this year we're focusing on the east side. So these safety concerns are extremely important to me and the rest of the council, especially with creating safe routes to schools for kids and our residents.
And Council, I don't want to interrupt you, but that was last year's program that unfortunately didn't get done. There will be another $50K in the budget this year for a renewed fund. So, if ideally, as Rosanna always says, if you have an issue, put it in your phone in the My Roselle Park app. I love that she's embraced that. You can reach out to your councilman, but the best thing to do is just call the DPW, fill out a form.
Yeah. So, also, before I conclude, I just wanted to extend my condolences to the Kraft family. I just wanted to take a moment to say that. Also, so please remember your voice matters, and as First Ward Council, I will always place the concerns of the residents within the borough first. If you need to get in contact with me, please email me at gjohnson@rosellepark.net, or you could call me at 908-303-1519. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Petrosky?
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I want to send my condolences out to Nancy Sika, Hemingway, Singoli family. Nancy was a 1973 graduate of Roselle Park High School. I actually graduated with her brother, and her brother is actually a good friend of mine. So also I want to send Eileen Giordano, who's a 1960 graduate of Roselle Park High School. On April 8th, I attended the fire department meeting. Mostly they went over work orders for me, and I'm waiting for them to send me an email and to get these jobs done. The 10th, I attended the recreation. Again, Tina, great job at the Easter egg hunt, as usual. We're getting ready for next year, things going on. So, again, it's a great group, and I'm proud to be a part of it. Thank you. On the 14th, I attended the Little League Parade. I thank them very much for giving me a plaque for my 43 years of service to Roselle Park Little League. I actually started in 1977, and Mr. Leonard, I had your daughter Kathy on my team that year. So it was a great honor. I want to thank the mayor and Councilman Johnson for coming. It was great support. Like I said, I was telling Councilman Johnson how many things have replaced since the beginning of when I started. Like, we didn't have lights back then. We didn't have a batting cage. Like I said, so much has improved. And I wish the Little League good luck. Hope their numbers stay strong. This year they combined with Kenworth, which I think was a great idea. And hopefully they have a good, both towns do. And it was good. Kenworth had their parade on Saturday, and Roselle Park had their parade on Sunday. So congratulations, Roselle Park Little League. On the 18th, which is today, I had joint sewer. We approved the contract construction requests and also replacing 6 35 volts transformers. Congratulations to the kids from the recreation that got certificates, well-deserved. And also, I want to thank all the coaches. I want to thank Tina and her committee and John Ranieri for a great job with the program. Andrew, congratulations to you and the mother of your child and thank everything. Baby mom. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay.
You said baby mom.
Yeah, I said
Baby. If you need to get a hold of me, get me at jpetrosky@rosellepark.net, 908-666-7821, and that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. That was a long one from you tonight. Jeez. Councilman Rubina.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening. Good evening, Roselle Park. I wanted to acknowledge April is Autism Awareness Month. In New Jersey, 1 in 35 children is diagnosed with autism, a 300% jump in 16 years, with and without intellectual disabilities. This month is about raising awareness to promote autism acceptance, celebrate neurodiversity and individual differences, and continue to advance inclusivity and connectedness throughout the community. I'd like to also acknowledge the Special Education Parent Advisory Group and thank Jackie Garcia, Katie McDermott, Jessica Nash, and the former co-founders for your continued parent advocacy efforts in collaboration with the Board of Education and the Roselle Park School District to ensure all of our children have the tools, resources, and accommodations to learn, grow, and have an equitable and inclusive educational experience. On infrastructure in the Fifth Ward, I'm happy to announce Pine Street between West Sumner and West Roselle, along with Larch between West Sumner and West Roselle, will be repaved this year. Also glad to announce Roselle Park was awarded $65,000 from the 2024 Union County Infrastructure and Municipal Aid Grant. The borough was awarded this money for much-needed improvements to the park. I'd like to also thank this team, my colleagues, on amending Ordinance 2779, which adds a stop sign at Ashwood and Amsterdam Avenue. Residents requested this, it was studied, and it was warranted. Your voices matter, just like Councilman Johnson says. During the last 2 weeks, the Roselle Park Preschool, located on the corner of West Webster Avenue and Laurel Avenue, was renovated. The John J. Day Center was formerly leased to a child care center for a number of years. This building, now leased to the Board of Ed, now makes way to accommodate our youngest and newest of residents in our growing community. With the seller's market over these last few years, empty nesters have taken the opportunity to realize huge returns on their single-family homes, and new families are jumping at the opportunity to raise their families in our borough. It's cyclical. Just like larger families during the baby boomer generation, we're a desirable community. Even folks who no longer live in our community or don't even live here wish to gain access to our school system. And efforts are being made to make sure folks don't take advantage of our system. Thank you to the Board of Ed and to district leadership and employees for quickly renovating, everyone involved in making the arrangements with the property owner, and ultimate thanks goes to taxpayers who contribute 53% of their tax bill to the Board of Ed. This is our community, and nothing gets done without teamwork, without partnerships and collaborations, so we should act as such. So once again, thank you to all involved. How we take care of our schools is important, and your tax dollars continually enhance our schools. Last night, we held a public safety and listening session at Aldine School. Officers Cambronero and Matthews presented on target hardening, and thank you to the residents who showed up, engaged, and not only learned how to keep safe, but offered feedback and had the opportunity to see what our PD is that our PD is taking matters seriously and is out there doing what they need to do to deter these malicious acts and bring perpetrators to justice. Thank you to the Roselle Park Police Department, Public Safety Chair, Councilman Johnson, and Councilman at Large Joe Signorello for joining and providing tips. Anyone seeking information on the presentation, please email Officer Cambronero at jcambronero@rosellepark.org or Officer Matthews at bmatthews@roselleparkpd.org. I look forward to seeing more of these events throughout town in the future, and thanks for bringing back the police blotter. It's a peace of mind. In a few weeks, on May 4th, we'll be hosting our annual bike clinic and first ever tour to Roselle Park. Please be sure to follow the announcement on the borough's Facebook page, and I've shared it on my page, so if you're interested in riding with us, sign up soon. Sunday, May 5th is the rain date. Last week, I was in Tampa visiting my family, and I had the opportunity to visit the Pinellas Trail in Dunedin. It's a 43-mile rail trail, and it was amazing. It's truly a walkable and bikeable experience, one that positively impacts health, safety, and not only improves quality of life, but generates local business. Bike and micro-mobility advocates, we're making progress, but let's continue to advocate to see more greenways and safer streets in our communities. And lastly, congrats to Andrew and his family. Fifth Ward, I can be reached at jrobine@rosellepark.net, 862-236-0019. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman. Were you not here last? No, I wasn't. Oh, you weren't? This is your first meeting back?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because we had land use board meetings in between. That's why. Okay, yeah. Councilwoman Lyons.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and Roselle Park family, and congratulations, Andrew and family. I need to see pictures, please. But it's awesome to have you back. We definitely missed you. So I just wanted to, a really quick report. We did have karaoke night at Costa's last Friday. Please support our local events that we have, because we need you. We want you to, have access to things. They are having karaoke night at the Casano Center coming up in May, so wait for that announcement, and also in the fall. So we definitely want to bring that into the community, have some fun, sing a little bit, okay? I went to the library meeting yesterday, and they gave me a great update. We do have museum passes, and we are working on getting more. So this one is actually in Cape May. It is a little far, but if you're down there, I think it's like for 2 adults and 6 kids. So we are definitely working on some things, being able to provide that for your families. But our library is definitely a great place to come to. There's a craft night on Mondays that there's 32 people signing up for. So they are definitely having a great time. But there's so much going on, and it is a central location, positive atmosphere. Definitely check that out on either their website or the app. Hello, my Roselle Park app. Everybody have it? Little plug there. For things that are coming up, Arbor Day on April 26th and April 27th. It's Meet the Borough, so the new residents in Roselle Park, new neighbors, we're going to definitely be able to meet and greet them. And just another congratulations for the wrestling champions, basketball champions. That was just great to see, and I definitely commend you all, and Councilman Petrowski for setting that up. That was amazing. It's great to see the kids and celebrate sports and celebrate, people. So it was beautiful to see. Yeah, if you need me, our Lions at rosellepark.net, and keep the unity in community. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Signorello.
Okay, so first, 43 years. Nice job, Joe. Appreciate all your service. And second thing I got, last night I attended the information session with Roselle Park PD. I learned a couple of things, and I put a couple of my 3 cents in as fortifying, your castle, and then just giving a little recommendation as a fireman, when you fortify it, be careful. I concur, we probably should have others or whatever down the road. I had a couple of concerned citizens over the last couple of weeks, 1 or 2 concerns about, I guess they call it Meridian Creek. So it's kind of creek or whatever goes behind Mavis and the pizzeria.
Who's bringing this up? The dwellers behind on the abandoned train line?
A guy who walks on Locust Street.
Okay.
So
how many concerned citizens?
Huh?
How many concerned?
Just 2.
Okay.
But I answer them.
All right, Councilman.
All right. That's my turn to talk, man. So anyway,
I got the gavel.
I had some dialogue with our professionals. I just think it seemed different, or it seemed small or reduced. I did talk to Dave from Negula, and he assures me it's the same spec, and I just needed documented, and I questioned. So we've done a nice job on not flooding down Chestnut Street. With a new business opening, I don't want to see us going backwards, and hopefully we keep Chestnut Street being flooded. We as a team fixed this 2 years ago. On to more flooding. So Lincoln Ave's been flooding since I can remember. I'll go with at least 38 years. I've seen an uptick on a little more flooding in the last 2 years. I do have some concerns of the Walnut Street Basin, and we talked with, thank you, Andrew, and Kevin from Colliers. We have some ideas and thoughts about the basin in Walnut Street, and I don't know what the creek that goes under Walnut Street, and I'm one of the older guys in the room, and I used to go behind Mr. Gershio's house and that creek, so it goes from Walnut Street, to Dowlings and behind the theater. So we're gonna slowly look into it. Andrew was out there, and we're going to come up with a plan, see what's going on with all the above. So, to be continued. We did talk about the paving after all the utility work, right, Andrew? So what'd they say, another about roughly May is their settling period, all right? So
Settling period's done next week, and then we're looking at June, probably right after school lets out, I would think, for it's Lehigh Avenue, Spruce Street, Hemlock, Woodland Avenue, East Lincoln Avenue, that section up there, and then there's a section south of that will be later in the year, probably in the summer, I would guess. And then they're starting their pipeline improvement project in their final phase on Sumner Avenue, Walnut Street, Hamilton, and then that section. And then that section will probably be resurfaced in the spring of *25, based on their time.
thank you for the update. And then last, we're proud for all the student athletes who are here tonight. And I should have said something before, as I've said this more than once, but Mr. Finizio, a great leader in education in our borough, he used to talk about the 3 A's, the academics, arts, and athletics. So congratulations to all of them. So you need to get a hold of me, Jay Signorella at rosellepark.net. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Councilman. I have a pretty short one. I just got a preview of Dowlings, and I'm very excited for what they have to offer. I took a sneak peek in, and it looks night and day different. You can already see in the facade how much money they put into it. Very excited. Just so everybody knows, they're going to open up phase 1 of the corner, and then the dance studio, which they purchased, has been completely gutted. They're going to work on phase 2 while phase 1 is open, so you'll see phase 2 come along, but certainly something to be proud of. Very, very glad that we kept them in town, and very, very glad that they took over that building. Also happy to see that the building across from them, the High Impact Printing, where High Impact Printing hasn't been open for a while, just did a facelift, which is nice to see. High Impact Printing is supposed to open back up in one of those buildings, and they have another tenant for the other. So it's good to see empty buildings being filled. That's it. I had somebody ask me, or somebody on Facebook was asking about the train station. The train station is embarrassing. We keep pushing. I talked about this a couple of meetings ago, but just as a refresher, it's supposed to go out to bid end of this year. NJ Transit wants to for the project, and I think they want to break ground early 2025. So can't come soon enough. As somebody who frequents that station, it is problematic. Any questions? Mayor Sig at rosellepark.net. And may I have a motion to open the public portion on any subject matter?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody wish to come up and speak on any subject matter may do so. Hi, Sandy.
Evening, Cindy Mago, 433 Walnut. So I have 2 really important things to discuss. The first is that Saturday, April 20th, will be the high school PTSA car wash to benefit Project Graduation. Anybody that doesn't know what Project Graduation is, it's a great event for our graduating students to have one last fun night together, creating memories and keeping them drug and alcohol free. So please come out and support from 9 to 3 on Saturday. And the other is May the 4th is the Aldine Tricky Tray at the VFW in Kenilworth. And if anybody wants tickets, they can reach out to me. Thank you.
I'll be there.
Awesome.
Oh, you will.
I have to be there now. Anybody else?
Milt Woodruff on Bender Avenue at Roselle Park.
Yep.
I have several questions I'd like to see if get resolved. One of the points I was curious about we do a lot of recycling. What sort of a money return do we get on the materials that are recycled from the town? And do we get any money back on that?
I don't think we get any money back. Do we get a recycling credit? What's the story?
So the material, the way, I thought you were going to, the material, the way we've bid it out, Mr. Woodruff, Andrew, Mr. Woodruff, the way we bid out the recycling project, the material is actually owned by the hauler, which means they recoup the, you know what? I'll get back to you exactly on that, but there is a variable cost to the disposal of recycling.
Do we get the benefit of that?
We do see the benefit of it, but it's very minimal. It used to be years ago, the market for recyclable material was much better, in which case a lot of times the municipality wouldn't pay anything. We did see that actually during some parts of the pandemic, like at the later part in like 2021. But we haven't seen that over the last year, where we do actually end up paying for the material.
I think the biggest sticker shock came sometime 2020. China stopped taking American recycling, right? They were one of the big importers.
Are there any plans for the properties that were recently cited for redevelopment? You folks have any plans for those right now?
So this is the movie theater I think you're talking about?
The buildings the properties that were recently reclassified for redevelopment.
The only ones that have recently been reclassified for redevelopment.
Now, a bunch of them on Westfield Avenue.
Yeah, so Mr., just because I was at the land use board meeting on Monday, so we're talking about the non-condemnation area in the block that includes.
Oh, that one. Yes. So I can. So there's an interested party who wants to put a hotel there. There's varying degrees of appetite for that, and then the other one is somebody wants to move their office building there.
But the area by the movie theater currently there is not.
There's going to be no movement on that beyond the study.
Yeah. My other question pertains to the ordinance we just talked about, the 2776.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a bond ordinance. You're talking about raising $1.6 million.
Yeah, Ken, what do we normally do in debt each year? I mean, to do our capital projects, this is par for the course.
Well, we try not to issue more debt than we're paying down, and we were able to do that by $10,000 this year. Paying down $1,650,000, and you're authorizing $1,640,000.
Yeah, I mean, so
what's the rate you think you're going to get on this?
What did we get last year?
The rate from last year's bond sale?
7?
No, it was. I'll have to get back to you. I'm sorry, I don't remember the actual rate itself.
So on $1.6 million, you're talking about over $100,000 to amortize that kind of a bond.
But you can't, if I could, Mayor, so we won't just be selling so this authorizes this year's worth of projects. When we go out to bond, which may be at the end of the year, depending on the market, it'll be the 2024 multipurpose bonds, 23 and 22. So you'll have a larger bond, and the sale and the interest rate on that larger bond will be better than if we went out for 1.6.
The interest rates are pretty high right now.
Well, we'll have to look. We may sell notes instead. It depends.
Either way. But anyway, I noticed also there's a lot of grants as part of your offsetting costs. Are those grants have they already been approved, or you need to seek those out?
Anything that is on the we can't issue a capital ordinance and put a grant on there unless it's been approved. Keep me honest.
Correct.
But you're talking over $2 million.
Yes. No. We have commitments, and all those grants are approved. Yeah. I think you're out of time. I'm sorry.
Well, I have two more quick questions, though. One is the statue for Rick Barry.
Yes.
Is that really necessary?
No, I think it's nice, though.
It might be nice, but you know what? It's our tax dollar.
Yep.
And quite frankly, my recollection, sir,
yep,
is that he essentially saluted us with 5 fingers and said he was from Elizabeth.
Okay.
That was Mr. Barry.
Yep, okay. I mean, again, he was born in Roselle Park. I think it's something worth celebrating.
Well, and also, you talked about the girls, the Boy Scout Park.
Yes.
Spending money on that.
Yes.
Would the Boy Scouts maybe just something on a volunteer basis?
So they did do something on a volunteer basis 2 years ago, and I'll be honest with you, I love their efforts, but there's only so much sprucing up you can do on a volunteer basis. It needs an overhaul.
Well, we're putting a lot of money out, and taxpayers really appreciate any kind of cost efficiencies that you can come up with.
Yep, and we have grants on some of those, but I'm sorry, I gotta cut you off.
Absolutely.
I'll let you get some extra questions in there, though.
Mayor, just for the governing body, in conjunction with Mr. Woodruff's question, so the amount of money that is offsetting the $4 million that's referenced in the title block of the bond ordinance is about $2 million. It's quite a bit of money. It's actually more grant money than we have ever gotten, at least in my time here. And most of those are new grants. So those are monies that we sought out and are not going to be borne by the taxpayers directly in Roselle Park.
Hey, Ed.
Ed Leonard, 504 Laurel Avenue. Just kind of a historical note, as you all know, I'm kind of a historian kind of guy. I've been involved with history in the town for probably 50 years. But 2024 marks the 100th anniversary of our Roosevelt Street Tunnel. Mm-hmm. And that tunnel, like the railroad station, is in dire need of some maintenance or whatever. This came up last night because the police were kind of interested in this too, because there's evidently graffiti on the walls, and they wanted to kind of go in there and look and see who might be doing this based on the code, if you will, of what's on there. But anyway, given that it's less than 2 years since till our 125th anniversary, it'd be a great project to kind of get that tunnel all fixed up, and actually the paving on either side of it too. It'd be a really nice looking thing. Maybe put historical murals in it or something like that with better lighting and some kind of improvement. Now, I know Mr. Casillas had mentioned to me a couple months back that there might be an opportunity to get some money from the railroad through some legacy agreements, even though the Lehigh Valley Railroad doesn't exist anymore. And I was wondering if there anything else had come of that.
I don't know what you're referring to, so I'll defer to BA here.
So we have a legacy agreement that was with now Conrail. It was I believe it was signed in 1924, where we would bear half the cost of any repairs or improvements to the tunnel. We did have a conversation with Conrail and Congressman Payne's staff at the time. They indicated that they would conduct the necessary, they did their assessment and they would conduct the necessary repairs and improvements within the first quarter of 2024, which clearly didn't happen. So it's very difficult dealing with a railroad, as everyone can attest. They're slow and they're tedious, and they don't like to do the type of things that you're suggesting.
And just to set context, we had this call, and they called the borough of, well, I get called this often, but they called the borough of Roselle Park the second most annoying town in the state, behind Jersey City, which is actually the mayor being annoying in a positive way for you guys. But we really do hammer them on this stuff.
Well, like I said, it is an anniversary, and this year, 100 years. And actually, it was called, Roosevelt Street was called Locust Avenue at the time. It wasn't called Roosevelt Street. But fortunately, the one good thing the borough did was change names, because we had a Locust Street, Locust Avenue, Chestnut Street, Chestnut Place, et cetera. One other question.
Sure.
With respect to the Resolution 10324, in there I see improvements to Grand Avenue, and then it mentions various other borough roads. Kind of maybe a catch-all that's $600,000. Is there any consideration to repaving Laurel Avenue? That was one of the few streets that was not done in all of the West End improvements that were the infrastructure improvements over the last 3 years.
Yeah, let me take a crack at that, and Andrew, you can fill me in if I messed anything up. We have a quote for Laurel, right? So it's on the short list, right? We track all this, ones that aren't done. So there's a couple that just didn't make the cut this year. But so I would say we're going to do short list being, so Bridges on there, Laurel's on there, Maple's on there. Usually when we close out projects, we've been very lucky in projects have been coming under budget, so we can flex that for more roads. So if we can flex that for more roads, it's certainly on the hot list for the next up. If not, it's something that we'll probably see in 2025.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Last item, there was also something in the budget, with respect to signage on the railroad stations. Has there been any consideration to putting one on the right on Westfield Avenue over the new NJ Transit.
There is. I would love to do one. Actually, my mom suggested it. So I think phase one is painting it because it's rusty now, and then phase two would be some kind of signage. I think given how big it is, you'd need to paint directly on it versus a banner. But we're going to do the foundation now, just make it clean and make it look whatever, a neutral color, and then something, welcome to Roselle Park or something on.
Well, even like an anniversary thing for the 125th.
It's a great idea, but it's something, look, we are spending a lot of money, but we did want to come under what we, pay down debt, so there's limits to it. So phase one is cleaning it up.
Right, keep the taxes down, right? Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Mayor, if I could, again, I don't want to belabor the point, but one of the things Mr. Leonard spoke about was the various, the certain roads and then various other roads. So that's something we've done and the governing body's done pretty wisely over the last few years. We've been able to have budget efficiencies either through bidding competitively or just kind of scrimming and scraping when we have projects that come up and do them wisely. So Resolution 10224 is the 2024 Capital Road Program, a little bit of a misnomer because none of that money is being issued this year. So that $500,000 project roughly, in addition to the engineering services, which is another $70,000, none of that is new debt. So all of that is monies that were previously issued, and based on budget savings, we're able to do those roads while we await the funding availability for the 2024 capital budget.
So just in simple terms, we went under budget, we're flexing that money to do more roads and not putting down more debt, right?
So it is achievable, is the point.
Yep. Yeah, come on, Lucy.
Hi, Lucy Figueredo, 33 Sheridan Avenue. So I have a question. So you're saying last year when you did Chester, you said New Jersey Town Gas is the one who did the paving.
Yep.
And they were going to pay for it. Now you're saying are the town's going to pay for it, or is it a New Jersey?
So it depends. So there's certain streets like Larch, I think we're paying for on our own because I don't think there was any work there, as an example. Walnut, just because I've got my Walnut crew here, Walnut will be done by Elizabethtown Gas, right? So we actually, when I got elected, this is 6 years ago, we did half streets originally, and then everybody else, I think Westfield's the first one in the county that said, forget half roads, you need to do full roads. So there's a mix. So I would say it's tough to split, but if there's work done by Elizabethtown, it's most likely Elizabethtown paying for it.
Okay.
If there's not work done by Elizabethtown, then it's most likely us paying for it. We've also done like horse trading with them and said like, hey, look, we're gonna do that one next year. Just do another road for us. So it gets a little murky, but we've benefited from the policy that we have with Elizabethtown.
Okay.
Yes. Yep.
No, because a friend of mine lives on Chester, and she asked me to ask you. So.
Yep. Yep.
The other question is, I've asked Joe. So I know that.
Which Joe? There's three Joes.
Oh,
I know. I'm only
Joe
kidding.
Keith.
Yeah.
So I know that the water company came around and they fixed our area. Well, two of my houses, mine and somebody else, were not fixed.
Yep.
So now they're going to tear up a road for two houses?
So it's bad what's going to happen. So do you have anything else? Because I could ramble on about
You
this
can
for a
ramble
while.
on.
Okay, got it. So we're going to have American Water do a full presentation on this. We don't know, so they have to go in. So there's two projects that American Water and Elizabethtown Gas have done. Elizabethtown Gas has been, is it coating their pipe or have they totally?
They're running new high pressure pipe, elevated pressure pipe.
And American Water in some areas have put like a plastic wrapper in between the pipe that goes down the streets. Now American Water, due to state legislation, has to replace all lead or galvanized pipe. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Within Roselle Park. They've identified, I think, 500 homes that need to get replaced.
At a minimum.
At a minimum. But it's really going to be on a house-by-house basis, right? So the hope is obviously, and it's stinks for the homeowner, might be myself included too, most of the work is actually going to be on the property, right? So, your front yard could be, right? Blame American Water, don't blame me. We hope that there'll be minimal damage to the newly paved roads, but American Water, to their credit, has said, look, we'll work with you, right? So if we do some extensive damage, we'll be replacing those roads too.
No, and I get it, but they already did some. Why wouldn't they just do the whole?
I don't know.
So it partially is because this is new to them. Having to replace the lead and galvanized lines is a completely different program than upfitting the mains. So they were going through Roselle Park, increasing the capacity of their mains and upgrading the pipes, the infrastructure that's underground from the old clay pipe in some areas and just substandard size pipe. This is actually going to each house, seeing what type of material the infrastructure is made of, all the way up to the connection point with your house.
No, and I understand that, but they did 6 houses this way, 6 houses this way, and left my house. And the other
Was
house.
was that the water company or was that the gas lines? Because the gas did the
Water.
meter replacement.
It was the water.
Oh, yeah.
They did the infrastructure water, they only did the high-pressure lines in the street. They didn't do water house to house. Like gas did the mains.
Do me a favor, send me a text tomorrow.
right, no
I'll follow up with it. I have a contact American Water. I can follow
All
up.
right, no problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bill Crossett, 412 Galloping Hill Road, Roselle Park. Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you and everybody else for the sidewalk repair program. I had to get Councilman Petrosky involved a little bit last week due to some confusion because nobody knew why there was no parking signs put up by order of the police department. Police department knew nothing, but it was a sidewalk project. And just so you know, and I already talked to Paul and told him, they were doing it correctly.
Yep.
Because they had to replace the same sections 5-6 years ago, and they got pushed up again by the trees. Since I was home, I got to watch them do it, and they were pulling up the slabs, and then they would carve the roots of the tree back. So this new sidewalk should last a while.
Yeah, so Councilman Petrosky was on me about it, made sure, and Johnson, he was the east side needed to get done, and actually I will take a little touch of credit here. I said, look, this has already happened. I said, you got to clean out the roots, so very happy you're happy.
Yeah, they did a great job.
Yeah.
Paul had a couple guys that were there watching them, sitting in the truck. I talked to them, and I said, these guys are doing it right.
Good.
So, and this is coming because the weather has warmed up.
Speeding?
Now. Oh, yeah.
You solve one problem, you get another one.
It's a little worse this year.
Yep.
Loud mufflers, the speeding, just like every other year, is one thing. Last week, 3 days in a row, a group of 3 motorcycles definitely speeding because they could do wheelies. And in order for a motorcycle to do a wheelie, they got to be up there on the speed.
Yeah, it's a rough area, and I actually, so I will talk to the police chief to see if there's a campaign we can do. Unfortunately, it's kind of, chasing, it's tough to catch here.
Especially motorcycles.
It's exceedingly hard.
I used to ride, so.
But we have, and it's not just bad there. Sheridan people use to get around East Lincoln or wherever, and I've heard them over and over again, people just blowing the stop sign on Sheridan. So there's something we need to think about with that corridor, but look, I'll talk to the chief, see if we can, step up enforcement there. It's...
Yeah, and I also want to thank Ken and his department. Back in January, I had a little problem with American Water, so watch your water bills. They overbilled me by 89,000 gallons.
Wow.
And if that had made it to the sewer bill,
Yep.
it would have been a problem. Ken and his department told me what to do. Took them till the end of March to get a resolution. They did send me the letter, which I sent it over to Ken's department, so I don't get overcharged on sewer.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Good to hear.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Anybody else? Going once, okay.
Hi, Council. Jerry Veltri, Ragland Drive. I have a question. Will there be any parking changes on Colonial, East Westfield Avenue, and Bender? Or will it stay the same?
So I would say, as far as the changes tonight, were there any changes considered in the ordinance for that area of East Westfield?
In the area, you're talking specific, there are changes on East Westfield Avenue.
Oh, you're talking about specifically?
Yes.
In that
between
area?
Galloping Hill and Bender?
Yeah.
There was an inaccurate reference to, I believe, Colonial Road for a parking regulation that doesn't exist. But in terms of what you know as a resident of that area, nothing will change. There are no parking regulation changes contemplated for that area as part of that ordinance.
I had a question for Councilman Johnson. I remember when you came to my house and spoke about a good town, good neighborhood. I want to know, what's your stance on this dispensary?
On the dispensary,
Yes.
I've been voting for it for the past 4 years.
You might want to turn on your mic, Greg. Yep.
I've been public about that for 4 years. There's videos out there of me that I have never hid my position in that. So my vote was yes, and that's pretty much where I'm at.
So you're for it in a residential area?
No, I'm for it on the main throughway.
Well, I'm talking about it's a residential area, Colonial Road. The house right next to it is 9 foot away.
It's Westfield Ave.
It's Westfield Ave, and the back of the building is where?
the back of the
On
building, yeah.
Colonial
Yeah.
Road.
Back of the building.
It is a residential area. Do you agree or not?
Yeah.
Okay. Do we put a dispensary in a residential area and harm the neighborhood?
No, you don't harm the neighborhood.
You don't harm the neighborhood?
Just the differences of opinion.
Yes, it is. A lot of differences of opinions in our ward.
Opinions
in the
aren't
first
factual.
ward.
Opinions aren't factual. So I agree with you. There are differences of opinions, but they're not factual.
We have a lot of opinions that it's not good for the neighborhood.
I got you.
And you came around and you represented it as good for the neighborhood and good for Roselle Park. This is not good for the neighborhood.
That's your subjective opinion.
That's my opinion and a lot of others in the first ward. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sorry I'm dressed like this, but I taught a fitness class and this is how I dress.
It's a lovely color.
My name's Arlene Brown. Reenie is my nickname. You probably know me as Reenie. 475 East Westfield Avenue. I have a very, very, very strong objection to the dispensary being one for recreation. You want to put a dispensary in my neighborhood, on my block, it's not Westfield Avenue. That dispensary is going to, the doorways to it open up onto Bender. The parking, in order to go, it used to be when you were going west on East Westfield Avenue, you could make a left-hand turn and go down right into the parking lot and park. You can't do that anymore. That road's been changed. You have to go down Westfield Avenue to the light on Galloping Hill Road. You have to make a left. Then you have to go down Raglan Road, which there's children there. They have basketball hoops set up. The kids are always in the street playing. They're anywhere between the ages of maybe 6 to about 15 with their basketball hoop right there in the middle of the street. That's the only way you can get to that dispensary, unless you go backwards into other neighborhood streets on that same left-hand turn off Galloping Hill Road. So you go down Ragland, chase all the kids away. You have to come up to Colonia. You have to make a left-hand turn. You have to go back onto Galloping Hill, and you have to make a right-hand turn and get back onto Westfield Avenue, come down Westfield Avenue going towards the center of town, and then you can pull into their parking lot. I am so objective to that. I so object to that. I'm sorry my voice is shaking. I'm extremely angry at all of you. Because anyone who could vote for that in my neighborhood, my residential neighborhood, a lot of children, a lot of people like me, just ordinary citizens. I don't do pot. I did when I was in high school, and it was my boyfriend's problem because he was the one that introduced me to it. It makes you stupid. And these people are going to go in there and they're going to buy their pot. And yeah, okay, you're going to have your ordinances. You can't smoke it in the building. You can't smoke it in the parking lot. What do you think they're going to do? If they're potheads, they're going to go over to Warren Echo Park and they're going to sit there and smoke. Otherwise, they're just going to park somewhere around the neighborhood and hide it and smoke. Or they're going to take it home and they're going to party. I don't care if people want to party. People get drunk all the time. They party, fine. But you're putting this in a residential area and you're putting the recreational one. You want to put one in that building that has been pediatrics, dental, it's been all doctor's offices all these years. and you're putting a recreational pothead place. What? What is wrong with you people?
But ma'am, just respectfully, all the parking and traffic flow situation that you described,
Yes.
it exists today.
Yes.
Right? So let's just say there's a world where there's 4 doctors in there.
Fine.
There's still that same traffic flow.
Yeah, but they're not getting high.
I
They're
understand
bringing
that.
their children there to get doctored.
But they could also go over to Union Township and get high just the same.
That doesn't make a bit of sense to me, that you're saying doctors and dentists and people in that building, and then you're saying a recreational pot? Come on. The road around, you have to go down, like I described it, you have to go through the residence. What are you going to tell those kids with the basketball hoop up? Take your hoop down because there's going to be people driving around all the time to get to that parking spot, just to get back on Westfield Avenue and come back up to get into the dispensary? I'm totally against this. And I don't know what else to do. Jerry's done his part. You know, what do you want us to do? Would you want this in your neighborhood? Your neighborhood. Behind your house. Would you want it behind your house? Now, if you look at New York, no, Las Vegas, they opened a dispensary. It was supposed to be just recreational. It started out just like this one. Now, it's a lounge. They have bands. They have televisions. They have beautiful set. You can buy alcohol. You can buy your pot. You can buy your alcohol. You can sit down with your friends and get rocked out of your mind. Don't you think that's going to happen? It's going to happen throughout America with these dispensaries. It's going to loosen up in years to come.
I've got to cut you off, unfortunately, because your time's up, but I will state just for the record that consumption on site is not allowed in Roselle Park.
I know it's not allowed. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to drive over to Warnaco Park, or they're going to drive down the street and they're going to close their car and they're going to
Warnaco
do
Park
it in their
isn't in
car.
Roselle Park.
Don't be petty.
I'm not being petty. I'm just
That's
stating
petty.
a fact.
That's petty. It's petty. This whole thing is petty. And I don't know what you guys want. You want money for the town? Find a different way to put an ice skating rink in. Put something in for the kids to play.
No,
the teens, something for people. Put a recreation for people.
I understand. Unfortunately, your time's up.
Yeah, I know my time's up, but your guys' time is up because voting for this is wrong in my neighborhood. You want to have the medical one? Fine. Give us a medical marijuana dispensary, not the party one, not the recreational, not in a neighborhood with children. Bender is loaded with kids.
Understood.
Raglan, Colonia.
I'm sorry, I have to.
All right, I'd like to cut you off on this particular subject, Mayor.
Understood.
I'm not meaning to be disrespectful,
Yep.
but I think this is very wrong of you. It should have been voted on. It shouldn't have been hidden, and then all of a sudden it's happening.
I understand. I appreciate it. And thank you. Time's up. Anybody else? 3, okay.
Since she got cut off, I'd like to continue what she was saying. Basically,
Name and
George
address for the
Ramirez,
record.
East Clay Avenue.
Yep.
As she was saying, it's going to be cumbersome for people to get to this place.
Mhm.
And you guys are, basically, you want that town, that part of town to be disintegrated. You're going to impact that part of town, and the more that it gets impacted negatively, the more money it's going to make for you guys, right?
I can't even begin to grasp that.
Well,
None of that jives. So you're saying that if the values of the town, of that area go down, we make more money?
No, so
we make money off assessed values of homes.
So as she was explaining, people are going to drive up Raglan, go make a
Yes.
left on Colonial.
Yes.
You want a ton of people to drive down those roads. You want a ton of people.
So what I will say is, let's just say there was a bakery there, okay? Forget about pot. Let's just say there was a bakery there.
Yeah, it's not about a pot. It's
But
about
let me finish, right?
Oh.
So let's just assume there's not pot there. If traffic is a concern, any retail outlet of any sort would be problematic. The only solution to what you guys are saying from a traffic flow perspective is to knock it down and make a single-family home there, which is it's probably not going to happen, right? Doesn't happen in 20. Let me finish.
Well,
so what I'm saying
is this going to take away from my time?
No, go for it. You got it.
All right. Well,
Go.
basically, what I'm saying is there's no other business that's going to be there from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. Number one.
Sure.
All right. Number two, doctors' offices don't get the same foot traffic that dispensary is going to get.
Okay.
And driving traffic.
Okay.
Number three, since you're getting 2%, you're going to want them to make as much money as possible in order for you to collect your 2% and make more on it, correct?
I mean, honestly, anything is more than we're getting right now. So
But
whatever
you
they do, they do.
You want it to blow up. You want it to be a huge, successful business.
I want every business in Roselle Park to be successful.
My point is, the more success that this business gets,
yes, the
more of a negative impact it's going to be for the residents in that area. Right or wrong? Right or wrong? Logically.
Totally. What you're supposing is that there's going to be droves and droves of people of coming to this. There's competition all around the area, and once again, if traffic is the concern, if people have a moral issue with marijuana, understood. We're not going to see eye to eye on that. If traffic is a concern, it is in the ROB zone. And because it's in the ROB zone, somebody is allowed to purchase that and repurpose it for what's zoned there, right? And what's zoned there potentially is you could put a bakery there, you could put a hot dog shop there, and all those traffic issues that you're describing would happen regardless of any retail spot that's there. It just would.
Well, technically, that retail spot has to have 35 parking spots, correct? A third of what it should have.
Yeah, we deemed the application sufficient based on their projections.
All right, and foot traffic, there's nothing that you can do if somebody wants to take their marijuana that they just bought there and walk down Bender, walk down Colonial, walk down Ragland, and smoke their weed. There's not absolutely one thing that you can do about it.
No, you can't. People can smoke outdoors. It is
You don't
what it
think
is.
that's going to impact the neighborhood as well?
Sir, I can smell pot on Chestnut Street today, and there's not one rec marijuana.
Good thing. So let's put
It's
it
a thing. It's a
let's
thing
put
that
it everywhere.
exists.
Let's put it everywhere.
It's a thing that exists.
But you can choose where you want it or not, right?
Look, it's legal in the state.
It doesn't matter.
Somebody bought it that wants to do it there.
You guys have the power to put it where it's beneficial for the people.
Okay.
This isn't beneficial for the people. You can choose not putting it there.
I
Just
would
because it's
also
legal
argue an abandoned, unused building is not beneficial for the people.
But just put a strip club there.
Not zoned for a strip club.
It's legal, though.
It's not zoned for a strip club.
Your point of thought is it's legal, and we could approve it. Just like it's not approved for 35 spots.
Apples and oranges.
Mayor, can I speak?
It's not approved for 35 spots. We'll approve it. We'll approve 12 spots, even though it should have 35 spots.
I got it. And it's good to see you at council meetings. You could have showed up last year when we were actually voting on this, but you decided to show up this year.
I'll show up
Got it. Thank
this
you.
year,
Consistency.
and I'll be sitting right there.
Got it.
I'll be
Probably
sitting right
not.
there. Yeah.
George.
Probably not. Thank you, though. Thank you for your feedback,
Thank
though.
you.
Appreciate it.
Keyboard warrior.
I hope you keep coming if that's not true.
It
was advertised. We do everything transparent.
No outreach.
No outreach, 200 feet, certified letter.
There was a referendum across the state. I don't
I'm
understand.
Betty Woodruff on Bender Avenue still, and I've lived here all my life. I know this town pretty well, and I'm proud of this town. I've been here, I'm not going to say how many years, but a long time. I want to think that the people we invite to come to this town are the people we want for neighbors. I'm not thinking that right now. I'm not trying to, everyone is allowed to make their own choices. I'm making mine. I chose this town. But I think that we're a small little borough that's existed here for 100 and some odd years, 150 maybe. And I think we're inviting the wrong people. We're inviting the wrong industry. I'd love a bakery. I remember when there were 3 bakeries in town. We had a movie theater. We had 3 hardware stores. We had everything a small town that's starting up needs. And we survived beautifully on it. I just don't see inviting this element. I'll invite doctors. I'll invite people who will bring something positive. If you think that's positive, then the world is changing.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, I'm seeing no one. May I have a motion to close the public portion?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
There are no items for closed session. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.